So the title of the video is called Atheist to Christian. For any atheists watching, I just want you to know that I was 100% totally, completely atheist, and it's not I wasn't one of those people who was emotional about it or angry at God. It's just that it was the most logical, rational thing for me to believe. There's no evidence of God for me, and I had enjoyed debating Christians for a long time and just nailing them with my ability to debate with them, and they had nothing to stand on. And then after a while, I kind of even lost interest. I really lost interest in that, and because it just wasn't even worth my time to discuss it anymore. And I really just didn't give Christians the time of day because I thought they don't have the capacity for basic reasoning, so why would I even waste my time talking to them? And that's what I really thought about anyone who was religious. But I would be nice, and just like you'd be nice to anyone else, like a child or, somebody who's disabled or whatever. And so I just want you to know that I was actually an atheist, and I was for a long time, more than a decade of my life. And it started when I was like a kid and went on through my early adult years. And for those of you who are Christians and watching, I just want you to know that what an atheist is just somebody who doesn't believe in God. It's not that you're unsure, that's agnosticism. But an atheist means that you are without theism, and you don't have a religion, you're not questioning it. And for atheists, our worldview is based off of science, facts, logic, things that are observable with your five senses, things like that. So I think another thing that people should know is that for atheists, the worldview is very different than Christians. For atheists, we want to prove our value in society and in the world, and I would go so far as to say to prove that we have a right to be here and that we're valuable and that it's worth it that we're here polluting the world, and that we have some sort of fundamental right to even be alive, and that we are enough and that we're worthy of love. And this is something that people seek out through accomplishing goals and comparing ourselves to others, seeing how we measure up, and we want to find fulfillment in achieving our goals, find some kind of meaning and purpose in life. And people usually look to goals and to achievement, to self-improvement, to feel fulfilled and feel enough and to feel that there's meaning in the world. And to make a long story short, for many years I was very successful at checking off all of those boxes for myself. I got the degree I wanted. I had a very high GPA. I always did really well in school. I got the job I wanted. I made the amount of money I wanted. I had the relationship I wanted. I had the perfect body. I had the perfect image. I had the perfect this, that, and the next thing. I really made my life perfect from a worldly point of view. And after accomplishing each thing, each little milestone, I would feel elated and happy for a few days, and then it would wear off, and then I'd diligently get back on to my next goal. And I thought that if I completed all of these goals, that I would finally feel that I've reached the top of the mountain, and that I would feel victorious, and then after that I could just be happy. And this is something that I've heard a lot of other people relate to as well. And what happens when you do get to that point, when you have all these cars and money and all this stuff, which I was never into cars and money all that much. But when you do reach all of your goals that are important to you, you figure out that there is nothing after you've finished the race and you've won the race. After you've passed the finish line, there is no more pathway, and it's just kind of this emptiness. And for me, I felt very much in despair because I thought, I just did all of this work my whole life. I have sacrificed and suffered and done everything right. And then I end up without the result that I thought I would get. I still feel that I'm like not at the top of the mountain, and actually there is no top of the mountain. Once you get to the top of the mountain, there's nothing left to do except maybe go climb back down the mountain. I don't know. Find another mountain to climb. But the point is that I was in this moment of despair, and I decided that it was worth a try. If life was meaningless and not worth living, then I was just willing to try to call for Jesus. And I was kind of pissed off, a little bit upset that, like, well, okay, fine, if God is real, why doesn't he show himself? Why is there all this mystery and all that? And so I said, I called Jesus specifically, and I said, if you're real, I need to know right now. And now to the atheists, I know I'm starting to sound like I'm going off the deep end, but this is what I did. It's the honest truth. And I was just speaking honestly how I felt in that moment. And I said, I surrender. Obviously, I don't know the pathway. That is deeply clear. I have just spent years and years accomplishing these goals and sacrificing everything for these goals. And that was the wrong direction to be running in. And I don't know what direction I am supposed to be running in. Where is it? What is it? I haven't heard of it. And I said, whatever I need to do to feel right and whole, I don't know what it is, and I need you to show me. I need to know, and I need to know right now. And I had this experience which I don't know how to describe exactly, but it's sort of like a dream, except that I didn't have the ingredients in my mind to make this dream. It was coming from somewhere else outside of me, because there were beliefs and a way of seeing things that I didn't have in my mind before. And I also had, the classic, I had this feeling of complete peace and love, and the key word is joy, that I had not felt maybe ever in my life, but I had never felt it something like that since I was an innocent little child, like under 5 years old. And all of the layers of filth and agony and pain and all these things that harden you throughout life or give you grief, anything like that was just completely gone, as if like the way that if you turn a flashlight on in a dark room, the darkness is gone. And that's what it was like. I was filled with light. There was no room for anything but that. And then I was visually, like I said, it was like a dream, shown these things. First, I was shown, even though I was sinless, or to the world I was a very good person, and I didn't sin, I didn't break the law, I didn't do anything wrong. In fact, anybody who knows me thinks that I'm like so pure, like too pure, like it's hard to be around me. Just being very moral and doing what's right and never doing naughty things. But I found that even when I was shown this, that even I am so deeply wrong and sinful. And it was a sin that I had never seen listed, like on the Ten Commandments. And the thing that I did that was so wrong, I don't know if I have to say this on camera, but it was just like holding the hate in my heart for other people. And at the time, it's because I hated people because they're stupid. And I just felt like people were stupid or immoral or weak. And I just didn't like people. And I was also shown this experience of like wishing through like areas of the world that I've never been to, and seeing those people worshiping God, worshiping Jesus, the Holy Spirit. They were worshiping, and I could see them just like beaming with this joy that I was feeling, and it was so beautiful. And there were no words spoken to me, but I just had the consciousness given to me of this different worldview and this new understanding of human beings and their worth. And their worth was that they were glorifying God and the love that they had for God, and that they were just, overflowing with. And I was feeling that as well. I've never felt that before. And after the experience, I started thinking, I read the Bible, and I stopped sinning in other ways that our society thinks is okay, like, sexually, like having sex before marriage and any sexual habits like that, and even like purifying my thoughts. Like, I was all in. And I'm telling you, I even went to Israel by myself shortly after because I just felt called. Because I felt inspired one day to read the book of Ruth, and she went to Jerusalem, and so I decided I'm going to Israel. Like, I was that much. That's how much the experience impacted me. And it was so good. And the understanding of my sin showed me how undeserving I am of even having any interaction with Jesus or God. And it just showed me, so for months and months after that, I was on the verge of tears, and I just didn't even know what to say to anybody to tell them that I experienced this, because I just had such an overwhelming feeling of just gratitude. And that's the thing that I took away from this experience the most. The thing that stuck with me the most is just feeling so grateful. So grateful. Because I know that even though to society's standards I'm awesome, I know that I was so undeserving, and so I don't know how to even just say it other than that, how to describe it. Just having hate towards other people, and I didn't even hate them outwardly. I was still polite to people, but inside my heart there was that darkness, there was that sin, and that was enough to mean that I don't deserve, going to heaven, or that I don't deserve what God had to offer. And as a Christian, for those of you who are atheists, you might not know this, but when you surrender to Jesus and you say, I need your salvation, the way that I happened to do that day, You are saved, and that's what happened to me. There's a lot more to the story, and maybe I'll make other videos, but that's my testimony. Thanks for watching.